there, Cancer. Welcome to your November 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So, I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. And this is one of my favorites to use during a time in Scorpio season because of some of the cards that are very kind of creepy looking, but some are very beautiful looking too. So it's not just one or the other. I don't know if I'm imagining things, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of swords, which can be a lot of communication, but sometimes a lot of drama, a lot of maybe, how would I put this, conflict or just things going counter to what you want. Of course, we're going to have an eclipse in this time frame as well. This is one of the real beautiful ones that's in color. One of the cards I really like. And, you know, I think that, yeah, eclipse season, as they call it. And in November, on the last day of November, there's going to be an eclipse in Gemini, which is a sign before you. So that will be the 12th house. And that can be very emotional, like an emotional release that may have a karmic connection, may have a very psychic feel to it, where it's really about maybe letting go of old patterns and habits. And even if that's a good thing, it can be kind of daunting because, I mean, when I say letting go, it's not like you just, okay, I'm finally going to do this. It's really like something happening in your reality that enables this to occur. And so that just can mean a big shift. Even if it's a relief or a release, it can still be perceived as, you know, this major shift. And shifts can, you know, shift happens, but it can be very, you know, kind of like an upheaval. And I do think that Cancers are particularly well equipped for change, since you're very, you know, you're ruled by the moon, but still, you know, you're human too, right? Heart of the matter, Son of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. It's funny because when they talk about professions of the Knight of Swords, they talk about like lawyers, and that reminds me of like a lawyer just kind of, I actually think this is a good depiction of the Knight of Swords, even though it's very non-traditional when it comes to the Rider-Waite version of things, but kind of with that, I'm going to call it that eagle eye, even though obviously it's more of an owl, I think. But that sense of ferocity, but that is connected with communication and thoughts. So the person who's able to hone in on a truth and really just, you know, get to the heart of the matter. And this is the heart of the matter card too. But so a lawyer who is collecting facts and then says, see, yeah, we're going to go after them on this. So it could be like a lawyer in your life, could be teaching. I mean, some of these professions where you're gathering knowledge so that you can use it in a very precise way. A writer who's using language. But I mean, a lawyer could be some kind of a lawsuit or some kind of a legal affair. Legal affair is what I meant to say. I'm just going to keep going and we'll see if it fleshes itself out. We've got two major arcana cards flanking this card, the High Priestess. Now, I want to say, too, that the Knight of Swords can be some kind of an air sign individual in your life. Now, this person is going to be rather what we would call unstable. And I don't mean that they're mentally unstable necessarily, but they're not necessarily a person that wants to commit. If this is a romantic relationship, they might kind of come in and out of your life. And they come into town, they turn your life upside down, and then they leave and you're left picking up the pieces. So this person may be immature if they are over a certain age, and I mean, that's all arbitrary, those terms, what really constitutes immaturity. Sometimes, Cancer people are very mature, almost like old, very old-fashioned and very old when you're young. So it's not necessarily chronological in age. And you may perceive anybody who's not willing to settle down within 2 months of dating you as, having commitment issues. So it's all relative. But, this could be a coworker who is, giving you grief. Maybe they're being competitive with you. There's like kind of that, I think there's a kind of a competitive spirit with all knights, or at least Knight of Swords and Knight of Wands especially. The High Priestess in the past position can be your intuition kind of kicking up and seeing things more for how they are. Maybe you were not really paying attention. And this may be like if somebody is trying to cause problems in the workplace, trying to upset the apple cart. Usually I would say if somebody is like that in your life, they are threatened by you for some reason. And maybe they're trying to say things, they're trying to use words as a weapon to, even in the upright position, I could see somebody doing that, and they're very good at it. This is the danger. But they're also very transparent, because to me, a knight is somebody that there still is this immaturity to a certain degree, that they're not as clever as they think that they are. They kind of give themselves away with their behavior. The higher message is the Devil card. So I never can get over this one with the hooves and the fire. And there's that pentacle, because this is connected to Capricorn, and it is an earth element. And this is about the pleasures of the flesh, or I don't want to say the sins of the flesh, but the temptations of the flesh. So as a spiritual card, really looking at, are you involved in a situation where maybe, let's say this is a divorce, and you're having a spiritual awakening. Let's say, I'm saying this hypothetically, Cancer, and this is why you feel like you don't want to be in a marriage anymore. And the lawyer is the one who's saying, hey, we can get X out of this other person. We can take them to the cleaners. So that could be your dilemma. Do I take this person to the cleaners? And it might be an offer that you find hard to refuse, because a lot of Cancer people, I would say that this is probably pretty across the board, are your connection to money is that you want that sense of security in your life on the financial level. And so if somebody is telling you, if a lawyer is telling you, you deserve this, look at all you did for this person, and they try to convince you to go for all of it, even though your intuition is telling you that you want to just kind of part ways, you don't want to be, you want to be ethical about it, and you don't want to be vindictive, or you don't want to cause them any kind of hardship, but it might be very tempting. What crosses you is the Father of Wands, which is the King of Wands. And this could be even like a workplace matter, because I think of the King of Wands in the challenged position as a boss, maybe from hell, who's very narcissistic, and maybe they're favoring the Knight of Swords. Who knows? I mean, we have father and son. Are you working in an office where, for a family, and they are putting their son ahead of you because they're family, and you feel that it's really unfair, but you don't feel like there's much you can do about it. And maybe the pay is good, but you don't like the dynamics of that. The Knight of Wands, I mean, the King of Wands in reverse is somebody who is kind of abusing their power. They can be a bully because as wonderful as wands or fire energy is, it has its dark side for sure. And part of that dark side can be kind of throwing your weight around. I'm talking about this Knight of Wands, or I keep saying Knight, King of Wands in reverse. And them trying to assert themselves as somebody in control, and they know that they're not in control, but they are still doing it. So an example would be when you are an adult and you have a parent who has always been controlling and they can't let that go. They can't shift into the new mode and saying, you know what, I was controlling as a parent. Maybe I was overprotective, who knows? I was under stress because I was raising a family and all this. Now you're an adult, you're on your own, you're taking care of yourself. I can relax and let you be yourself. No, this person, their whole identity is wrapped up in having this power over somebody else. And even when it's not really there, they're still trying to do it. So maybe this is an X. We do have this Mercury retrograde Mercury going direct at the beginning of the month, but you may have had somebody come crawling out of the woodwork, an X, trying to come back, get back in your good graces. And you might have felt like, should I do it? And it's like, are you crazy? What are you thinking? This person just wants power. They may try to act like they're so nice, but eventually their true self seeps out. And maybe that's the devil card, It's like the devil What's coming in is the Daughter of Cups. To me, this can be almost I think this is going to be a more positive interpretation, but I would just say, look out for a tendency to be gullible, to believe what somebody says on the surface with no evidence to back them up. So, for instance, if you left a person because they were controlling and they suddenly turn on the charm and they are the perfect person, the person you were always hoping they were going to be after you have called a lawyer and filed for a divorce, you might just get so caught up in the fantasy of like, wow, this is what I always wanted, that you don't use discernment and say, whoa, wait a second. Why are they doing this all of a sudden? Isn't that a bit convenient that they're doing this now? And so you're really tuning into that. The Page of Cups can be a new relationship, maybe even having a declaration. Pages can be messages from someone who cares for you, wants to be with you. If it is a literal water sign like you, obviously it could be a Cancer also, or a Scorpio or a Pisces person. And I haven't done Pisces reading, so if I get Cancer cards like the Chariot or something like that, the Six of Cups, and I'll think of you and I'll think, wow, maybe it is a Pisces. The outcome is a very lighthearted but touching card, the Three of Cups. This is a social card. This is being with friends. This is celebration, enjoying your life, enjoying being social with others. Perhaps you've been through some things that have kept you keeping more to yourself. And now you're kind of coming out. Maybe your coming out party of, hey, I'm still here. I'm single again, what have you. And just wanting to celebrate with friends, maybe contacting friends that you've been neglecting for a while. There may be some event that is very worthy of celebration, such as a child, obviously adult child's impending wedding, the birth of a baby. Maybe that's the Daughter of Cups, a message about a baby that is on the way. Maybe you're going to become a grandparent for the first time. Who knows? But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, Cancer. If you would like a private reading, I'm primarily an astrologer. I just say this because I'm doing so many tarot readings. I just want to remind people if astrology is something that you prefer. It's definitely something I feel the most comfortable doing readings with for people. Please check my offerings below at the link. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.